Here at the NFL Scouting Combine with Jets GM Joe Douglas. Since the bench press is behind us, what's your max amount of reps? At 225.
Max I ever did on my pro day was 27. That was back in '98, so those days are long gone now.
Not bad. Let's transition to now. How's the preparations going for everything? Because you got free agency, the legal tampering period begins March 14th, free agency begins March 16th, and then you're balancing that with all your draft work.
Yeah, things are really ramping up on our end. Had a great week in Mobile with our coaching staff, our college staff, this group of seniors. And then we had to adjust, right? We had to adjust our schedule a little bit. We just had 2 great days of meetings with our coaching staff on free agency. And now we're here, and there's a lot of conversations to be had, a lot of information to gather on the pro and college side. And we'll get back after this week at the Combine and really amp up our final offseason plan.
Joe, how unique of an opportunity was that for your staff coaching down in Mobile?
Oh, it was extremely unique. It's the first time in my 20-plus years in the NFL that had the opportunity to kind of go behind the curtains during the week at the Senior Bowl. So just the time to spend with these guys in a football atmosphere, in the film room, in the individual drills, on the practice field, just to see how guys compete, how they soak in the information, their professionalism, their maturity. There's a lot of insight you gather from that week.
Can you talk about Coach Saleh not being here this week, because you guys as an organization want to maximize your time, and you thought this was the best approach?
Yeah, no, and I'm on board with Coach, and we're both in agreement. With the week at the Senior Bowl, we were able to really get a kickstart on this year's draft. But with that, we had to adjust our February schedule a little bit, and felt that this was an opportunity for them to stay back, be efficient, while staying connected to what we've got going on here. They're still connected virtually to every interview, every meeting we have with the player. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for them. They can stay connected to what we're doing out here and then get the work done that they need to back at the facility.
How many game plans do you have to have in terms of free agency? Because you don't know how exactly it's going to play out and how those dominoes are going to fall.
Yeah, you have to have different plans. There has to be different pivot points in your plan because you have your wish list, and things aren't going to always fall into place exactly how you see them. But it's important to have backup plans, contingency plans at every single position.
Can you talk on a whole about helping your young quarterback? Something that struck me that Robert Saleh did say today, he said, maybe you all are thinking just in terms of the offense, but I think what can help him too is us getting better on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and I would piggyback what Coach Saleh said there. I mean, I think if you looked around the league, especially with the young quarterbacks, it's a little easier to play offense and play quarterback when you're up 14 instead of down 14. And defense has a lot to do with that. So there's no doubt that defense, run game, there's a lot of different ways to help your quarterback outside of the weapons and playmakers. So I would definitely piggyback what Coach Saleh expressed this morning.
How about the flexibility that you guys have with the money, but also your philosophy in terms of you want to build this thing through the draft, but with that being said, you can strike if you want to early.
Yeah, no doubt. And so kind of the end of season meeting, we have a really unique opportunity this year with the assets that we've accumulated that there's a lot of different avenues we could go down in terms of making this roster better. The draft is one avenue, free agency is one avenue, and then the trade market's another avenue. So obviously that goes into these next few weeks, exploring every single one of those avenues moving forward to put the best plan in place for this offseason.
What about having 4 and 10 overall, specifically with the 2022 draft and those 4 picks in the top 38?
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. Having 2 picks inside the top 10, 4 picks inside of the top 40, it's a real opportunity to get better quickly.
Can I ask you just as far as depth-wise, a couple position groups, what you see here in 2022? How about the edge rushers?
Look, I think you see in this draft, both sides of the line of scrimmage are strong. Offensive line, defensive line, edge rushers. It's a good group of linemen in this draft, and so it's going to be a point of emphasis for us moving forward, like we've always said, both sides of the line of scrimmage. But you also see good depth at tight end, at wide receiver. It's a strong class.
I wanted to get your thoughts also on something Robert said today. He said there are premium positions when you talk in terms of the draft: quarterback, cornerback, edge rushers, but also if there are unicorn types at other positions and they're graded so far above other players, you take them. Is that your philosophy as well?
Well, that's something that we definitely need to talk about and entertain. I mean, ultimately, we're trying to get the best player available for the New York Jets moving forward, regardless of position. Look, in a perfect world, you're dealing primarily in the quote-unquote premium positions that Coach brought up. But if there's a dynamic playmaker at safety, at other positions, you've got to talk about it. You've got to discuss it.
How eager are you to get this thing underway?
Very. I can't wait.
Joe.